So for the last few weeks, we've been proclaiming very loudly and visibly that Black Lives Matter. And we are proclaiming that because we have a history that warrants the need for that phrase to be repeated over and over again at this place and time. And I don't know how many of you went to the Juneteenth celebration on Friday, but there's this wonderful video of the chief of police dancing I think it's called the Cupid Shuffle with citizens at the Juneteenth rally. And it was party event. And it was just wonderful to see. And today we're celebrating the LGBTQ community in the form of Pride Sunday. And like I said, Pride Sunday, I think, is officially next week, but we'll be watching our General Assembly worship. And so we're kicking it off this week and painting our parking lots and acknowledging that LGBT lives matter today, because justice is intersectional. On one level, you could say that racial justice and LGBTQ rights are completely different dynamics. And yes, they are different. And yes, they do intersect. And yes, Black lives matter, and lesbian lives matter, and gay men's lives matter, and transgender lives matter, bisexual lives matter, queer lives matter. So why single out all of these lives? Because all lives matter. And that means that sometimes specific lives need to be singled out and wrapped in a great big cocoon of love, safety, acknowledgement, and healing. And so I put together that slideshow 5 years ago. And I wanted to show it again today because it does start with progress for our LGBTQ community. And it ended with Black churches burning. 5 years ago, the White House was bathed in rainbow light after the Supreme Court passed the decision that every person has the right to love and be married regardless of the gender of the person they love. 5 years later, almost exactly, the LGBTQ community is this week taking a breath of relief because the Supreme Court ruled that people can't be fired simply for being gay or transgendered. But just think about that. 5 years ago, we had a great big open arms celebration with the President of the United States symbolizing that we see you, we accept you with love, you are embraced with open arms as full members of our society, so much so that we're going to bathe the White House in rainbow light. This week, it's not really about celebrating because this community is barely taking a breath that at the very least somebody can't fire you simply because they don't agree with your lifestyle, regardless of your job performance. That's a victory, I suppose. But in the year 2020, why should it have to go to the Supreme Court to say that you can't fire somebody because they are gay or transgender? And just a few weeks ago, by executive order, doctors can deny health care to transgender and gay patients. 2 weeks ago, President Trump, by executive order, reversed the health care protections for transgendered people. In an article from NPR on June 12, 2020, They write, the Trump administration on Friday finalized a rule that would remove non-discrimination protections for LGBTQ people when it comes to health care and health insurance. It is one of many rules and regulations put forward by the Trump administration that defines sex discrimination as only applying when someone faces discrimination for being male or female, and does not protect people from discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. June 12, 2020. And then people ask why we need to have Pride Sunday or Pride parades. We do it for this very reason, for the reason that 5 years after a major victory, our LGBTQ community until this week literally could be fired for no other reason than simply being themselves. Because as of 2 weeks ago, people we love can now be refused medical care by people who disagree with their lifestyle or simply don't understand or care to understand who their patient is. So we have Pride. We celebrate Pride Sunday. We have Pride parades because it's time to be seen. In all of your beauty and glory, it's time to make the invisible visible, and not only to be tolerated, but to be celebrated. And we will continue to celebrate Pride Sunday and Pride parades until the phrase LGBTQ lives matter is no longer necessary. For now, it is still necessary. So today I want to say to my LGBT friends, family, and community, we see you. We honor you. We love you. We accept you for the wonderful, beautiful, magnificent human beings that you are. To every child who is looking around at the big world and wondering if they belong because their inner reality is not reflecting what they see in our culture, we see you. To the young teenagers who are just beginning to explore who they are, wondering if they have the courage to come out to their parents, we see you. To the young man who is still living in the body of a young woman, ready to find that inner alignment, knowing that it will shake your foundation in a glorious way as you change your life and transition into who you were always meant to become, we see you. Matthew Shepard, we see you. To all the young men and women who have been abused or neglected or murdered for simply being who you were born to be, we see you. To the homeless teens who were thrown out of their homes by parents who could not accept them, we see you and we celebrate you and we say you are absolutely beautiful and perfect just the way you are. To all the mothers and fathers out there who have loved and supported and stood beside your children, teens, and adult children as they come out of the closet, we see you and we thank you. To all the mothers and fathers who have stepped in to be surrogate parents to those young people who have been rejected by their families of origin, we say we see you, we need you, thank you. Today is a joyful day to celebrate the beauty of people coming out to express their authentic selves. And the reason we have Pride is because there is healing that still needs to be done. Harm has been done to our LGBTQ community for many, many years. And so we don't whitewash one to celebrate the other. We can't do that anymore. It's time to bring the both and into our lives. It's time to bring the shadow, to look at our shadows so that we can start to heal. This year, 2020 has been a whopper of a year. And I also think when we look back in history, we will say this was the year when everything changed. This was the year when Juneteenth came to Grand Junction, Colorado. This was the year that the people in the United States finally got fed up with the anger and the hate and the manipulation and the division coming out of the White House and said no more. This is the year when a virus yanked us apart and then pulled us back together. This is the vision I see for the rest of this year. We can do this. We are doing this. And in the meantime, we stand with our LGBTQ family and we say, we have your back. We stand with our Black neighbors and we say, we have your back. We show up. We paint parking lots. We educate ourselves and we look forward to this time next year when once again, our White House just may be bathed in rainbow light once again. Let us sing together now, standing on the side of love.